Alright, what is up everyone? We recording. Okay, so today we're going to do something interesting, a little bit different. So I just upgraded the shock on my Santa Cruz Bronson, I'll show you in a second. And I couldn't find a lot of info online on comparing the Super Deluxe to the Vivid. Seems like it's always the Fox X2 to the Vivid Air. So figured I might as well show it, making this video as much for me as for anyone else. Planning on doing a comparison ride today between the Super Deluxe Select Plus and the Vivid Air down a black, choppier trail here. So I've got it pretty dialed over the last week. But on the higher speed, more chattery trails, it's still a little bit bumpy, and I think I can do better, but I mostly want to see how the Super Deluxe felt, because I've been riding the Vivid long enough now to where I kind of forgot what the Super Deluxe feels like. So I'll swap it at the trail and just do 2 laps. But let's take a look. Let me swap the camera around here. See what we got going on. So here is Super Deluxe on the Bronson. So this is a Bronson V4. You can see it just barely fits in there. So Bronson V4, here it is, nice and dirty from Moab. It's the Vivid Air Ultimate. So the decision for me was kind of, do I try and upgrade the damper on the Super Deluxe, or, upgrade the damper so I can get the LSC, HSC controls, or do I just upgrade? And decided to go for the beefy one. Bronson's kind of a enduro, trail enduro leaning bike. So yeah, decided to go Vivid Air, and then I'll probably do a Zeb this winter if they're ever back in stock, and see how that feels. As far as the bike goes, so if anyone else is thinking of doing this, the Lyrik, I've gotten along nice with the Lyrik. So the Lyrik does have the high and low speed controls, which is great. So that's been fine. It has a wide range of workable pressures, and I like it. The Super Deluxe, though, I just couldn't figure it out. Always felt like it just didn't exist until hard bottom outs. Wasn't rough, but it just didn't seem like it did a whole lot. And so far the Vivid is a very different experience. It's definitely not a coil, despite the marketing. Definitely feels like an air shock, but it is extremely linear. And I think with the Santa Cruz VPP, how this whole linkage works, it pairs very nicely. So yeah, anyways, I'll put the stats of what I'm running in the description, and so you guys can see what I'm testing out. And yeah, next ride will be at the trailhead. Gonna do a lap with the Vivid because it's already on, and then lap with the Super Deluxe. Oh, and closing thoughts. Nice thing with this is you can actually get to the O-ring without having to dig into the tunnel. So that is super nice. Downside, though, is if I can get down here, this is the most absurd thing of all time, is you can maybe see, it's not going to focus, maybe see the rebound dial in there. And this thing is just impossible to get to. So rebound, and then it pops off as a tool, but you have this little fender right here, so it's just you can't do it. So what I do, I actually have it right here, is I have a little key, Allen key, so if I want to adjust HSC, I use that. And then if you want to adjust the HBO, it's the purple one in there. It's a little bit harder to get to, so definitely harder. I don't know if I can even get this on video, but so something like that. And then you can twist it, so not ideal, but once you get rebound set and HSC set, I don't think it matters. This knob on the front you can't see, but this is your low speed compression, so you can still adjust that. And for me, once I get the rebound and HSC set, I usually don't adjust it too much. So anyways, thought I'd show that. So yeah, kind of goofy on the Bronson, but honestly I think I like it better because you can see your sag, get to the O-ring, check bottom out. It's been a really nice for setup having it right here. But anyways, see you at the trail. All right, recording. We made it to the top. Bit of a pedal. Not too bad. 24 minutes. It's really steep at the end, but otherwise not too bad. Okay, so what are we testing today? So shock, we're on the Vivid. It is 5 psi or 1% sag less. Actually rocking 31% sag. So Santa Cruz says you can do 28 to 32. I've tried 28, 29, 30. So today I'll be trying 31. Bumped up LSC by 1, just because a little bit less pressure. I don't know. Maybe I'll need the support. HSC still -2. Fork, did a little more LSC too. I want to see if it feels like I'm sitting any higher in my travel. I was experimenting with rebound for that reason yesterday, and now today wondering if a little bit LSC will make me sit a little higher. Okay, yeah, I'll try to give a commentary on the way down and see how it feels. Send and thought that was a bird. Okay. Okay, yeah, way different than last time I was here. Way different. So much more supple. Whew. No one ever takes this left line, by the way. This is the best line. Nice little chuck to fly right there, that's why. Whew. Okay, really quick. Travel, yeah, that doesn't look maxed out. Okay, cool. That's what I've been worried about, going lower and lower in sag / pressure, is the linear shock. So I just don't want to bottom it out too bad early on and destroy it. This was my shock for next season. I shouldn't even be riding right now, but the weather here has just been crazy. That's a crazy line, other than that. Interesting. Up and over the big rock. Oh, whew, my hands though. Is this like a line? Oh, yeah, interesting. Kinda. Never hit that either. Okay, I feel like with the LSC, I am kind of staying more composed and not so deep in my travel, which is kind of cool. Slid in the sand a little right there, right into that tree. I hope I'm recording, by the way. That would be embarrassing if I wasn't. Yeah, it is a little bumpy though. If I took LSC down, I'm confident it would be smoother, but I would be, I think I would be lower in the travel. Man, one of the rebounds is off. I'm still oversteering. What did that Geordie from Fox say? Fuck, I forget. A little too much rebound on one of them now. Or too much LSC, actually. Like, see, I keep going wide. Maybe I'm just not used to it, but I want to look down at my usage, but man, I slowed down trying to look at my shock and I forgot that the jump was coming up. I didn't get to hit it. So sad. Will say I have so much. Oh god. This part though. Those brake bumps, man. Oh. I have so much braking grip. Okay. Wow. don't know how you couldn't be happy with that run. I almost don't even want to test the Super Deluxe now. A little on the bumpy side, but wow. The LSC. Okay, so I gotta think about oversteer. I think that means my rear is hunching down too much. If the rear is squatting too much, I'm doing this, I don't think it's gonna wanna go around. If the front is diving, I think it'll suck my turn radius down. Oh, and my hands. Okay, so maybe, that's a good point, okay. Do -2 LSE. I'm gonna leave it on the shock though. Actually, I'm curious how much usage I used. So I bought the world's tiniest measuring device just so I can measure sag. Whoa, oh my god, bee, don't sting me. Go away. Now 9, so I'm getting exactly to the bump stop. I don't know if that's a bee or one of those flies that looks like a bee. But yeah, this bike's weird, or the shock is weird, so in case anyone watching doesn't know, 9 millimeters from the end down there, because this is a 230 by 60 shock, and the 230 by 65 is the standard size, so it's got a 5 millimeter, I don't know, limiter in there. I'm not sure how they do it. Haven't taken it apart yet. But essentially, that means that it doesn't bottom out at 0, bottoms out at 5 per Rock Shocks, per their website. Now at 9 millimeters from the end, it hits a rubber bump stop, which is different from the Super Deluxe. Super Deluxe, they have a bumper. I don't think it's meant to be rammed into. I think it's just so if you do bottom out, it's not metal on metal. This shock though has an actual bump stop, and if you dig up any user graphed force per millimeter, compression on the shock, you see it's incredibly linear. A little bit of decline at the bottom to the 35% positive negative chamber equalization point, and then a slight increase the rest of the way, but it's so minor until you get to the last 10-ish millimeters of travel, which would be 4 or 5-ish on the shock itself. Remember, the shock is 60 millimeter stanchion, bike's 150 millimeter travel. So clearly the bump stop is meant to be rammed into by Rock Shocks, and that's kind of their extra bottom out protection. Honestly, with the HBO hydraulic bottom out, I don't really seem to have any issues. I think there's been one time I've gone to 8 millimeters, which means there's still 3 more in reserve, or on my actual bike linkage, 3 millimeters would be like 8 or something. So I've only ever used 142 of my 150 shock. So pretty interesting. But yeah, that felt good. Little bumpy, like this stuff, you can feel it. You know it's there, but it's not bad. I like those though. Ooh, when you're jumping off stuff, dropping to flat, it is truly like a cloud. The fork is the same right now too, with a little bit higher pressure. With lower pressure, the fork gets too far into its travel, then you get kind of an abrupt pogo feeling. At higher pressures though, just as a really nice deceleration. And this Vivid Shock is no different. It would have been really nice for Moab because there's so many chuck to flats everywhere there. But yeah, it's all around. Feels good. We'll see what the Super Deluxe feels like though. That's the real test. It would be ironic if I put it on and I'm just like, oh, Super Deluxe is way better. It'd be kind of sad. I don't think that'll be the case though. Okay, I'll catch you guys at the top again. I don't think I'm gonna get any footage of swapping it. If anyone watches this and are like, hey, how do you swap the shock? Then I will make you a 2-minute video. But it's really easy. Real easy. Recording. All right. Back at the top. We made it. I don't know why I even did this test. This is Super Deluxe. Let's see if I can show you. Here it is. In all its glory. It just kind of sucks. I'm gonna be honest. It's just not good. Get this locked in for the ride down. It's too... Okay, now let me preface this. I had so many bottom out issues with this thing, even at like 28% sag or less maybe. So many bottom outs, I put another volume token in it. Like I would bottom out from doing literally nothing. So I do have an extra volume token. RockShox's app says I should have 0. It had 1 in there, so it's already kind of goofy to begin with. You know, maybe I got the wrong tune on it. I don't know. Maybe they just put the wrong shock on. But anyways, oops, someone's pedaling up. Gotta be quick. But yeah, it's just so indecisive. It's like plush, and then it's just so deep in travel that the rebound kicks you back. Okay, I'm gonna go before this guy gets up here, and then I'll talk as I go down. Feels weird talking to the camera with other humans around, so we're gonna go. Okay, so yeah, it's just like this shock just has two different minds to it. It's either flush-ish or just so deep in travel that it fucks you. Now I will be honest, that was not bad. That was pretty good actually. So climbing, not a fun experience on this thing. But that was better than I thought. No truck to flat that time. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder why it's like that. So climbing, it sucked. Literally sucked. The Vivid climbed way better. Going down this stuff though, it's not terrible. You feel the way harder hits, like just now, just there. I really felt it get deep in travel and be firm. Or like some of those, you can kind of hear like chain slap or something kind of happens back there that doesn't happen with the Vivid. So something weird happens, but it's not weird. Alt line. I don't think I like that alt line. Now the question of what is better, like is this providing the same amount of grip? Man, that loose sand into that tree both times. But yeah, which one's giving more grip? I don't know. This one just kind of feels like it's there. Oh. My tires are getting bald, and I'm getting a little scared. Ooh, some foot pump though. Interesting. So let's see. Vivid feels more like my shock. I can actually feel it tracking the ground. This I don't. It just kind of disappears, but you know, that's not the worst thing ever, I suppose. Oh yeah, the jump that I missed last time. Now I will say climbing, I didn't have as much traction. I bet if I just knocked the rebound and LSC back down on the Vivid, it would feel more like this, but I don't know if this is better. I do kind of feel more confident on this shock though in a weird way. Oh, yeah, see a little poppy on the back end now. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I'm not sure what's happening at the end down there. When it reaches like close to max. Like, let's see. Yeah, we definitely used it all. Must just be a bottom out. I'm just bottoming it out. Like you feel something move. Like if you bottom out, maybe the chain slaps. If you don't bottom out, you have a little more support. The chain just kind of flows. I'm not sure. But yeah, interesting. So honestly, better than I thought. Better than I thought. I don't hate this thing as much as I thought I did. Would I still go to the Vivid? Yeah. Better climber. It literally feels bottomless. That little chuck to flat right there at the end. Like I could feel that. And I don't think it's even a hard bottom out. It's just like this shock is so progressive that when you get to the last 20-30%, it just wants to shoot you up. Like if you had the ultimate and you could turn down high-speed compression, maybe it wouldn't be like that. Maybe this would be pretty nice actually. Could be really cool. But yeah, so let's see, objectively, how do you describe it? So climbing like this sucks. I don't know why, but like, it doesn't climb good. Deep in travel, it's too rough. It doesn't feel bottomless. Like, I think my lower back hurts from that last chuck to flat. Yeah, like my fork still has 20 millimeters of travel at least. The fork feels bottomless. Took some gnarly stuff in Moab to max it out. And that's how the Vivid feels. It feels very similar to my fork. This shock though, the hard compressions kind of suck. Again, maybe because I added a second token, that would make sense. But if I didn't add the token, I was just always bottoming it out. Small jumps, 2 foot funny hops off curbs would bottom it out. And it's like I felt like I had to. But going fast down through the chunk, I didn't feel like I was tracking the trail. Maybe I was just skipping on top of it. I don't know. It wasn't like I was tracking the trail going down. I tracked the trail here climbing, which is annoying. I don't want it to track the trail now. But going down, you don't feel it tracking the trail as much. I mean, that's gotta mean you have less grip, I think, right? It's kind of scary, but the Vivid is like, in my current setup, maybe I can do better with it. I think it was a little bit more chattery. Hello. So Vivid, a little bit more chattery. Not, like that's the thing, it's not like duck, 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 like big hard hits. it's like rolling hits. You have the terrain under you, it's tracking it, and this just kind of makes the bike go up and down a little bit. Maybe I need to try 32% sag. Go to the limit. I think I did have the low speed on it -1 instead of -2. Maybe I need more to sit higher and drop. I'm not sure, but very interesting experiment. So Vivid, if I'm going to be doing anything like Jacobs, any black techier trail, definitely low sag. I'll probably try 32% next. I think I can get one more ride in tomorrow, and then rain and snow is coming, and that's the whole year. But yeah, so maybe the Super Deluxe isn't too bad. It's like very twitchy. Flats, climbing. Just feels like it wants to jump between being compliant and being a little pogo stick. But at high speed, did all right. It did all right. Did it give me traction? I don't know. Maybe not. But it's like kind of confident inspiring in a way, because you don't feel like you're going 25 down a trail with constant 6-inch to 1 foot divots and drops and sharp edges. Like it just, I don't know. It really does take away that specific feel. I guess I tuned this pretty good then, because it's probably what I was going for. Jacobs is my favorite kind of trail. we're gonna go. Okay. Okay, yeah, way different than last time I was here. Ish. Or just so deep in travel that it fucks you. Now, I will be honest, that was so much more supple. Whew. No one ever takes this left line, by the way. This is the best line. Nice little chuck to flat. Not a fun experience on this thing. But that was better than I thought. Note to see, I am kind of staying more composed and not so deep in my travel. Now the question of what is better, like is this providing, it's a little bumpy though. If I took LSC down, I'm confident it would be smoother, but I will say I have so much. Oh god, this part though, those brake bump this, but I don't know if this is better. I do kind of feel more confident, so much braking grip. Okay.